Today we're tackling something pretty bold, a really aggressive claim, actually, about content creation these days. The idea is that you can actually design stuff that's basically impossible for people to ignore. And crucially, for the algorithms, too.
Yeah, it's a big claim.
Definitely. So we're diving into this system called the $1 million content engine. Our mission, really, is to pick apart their marketing, look at the neuroscience they say they're using, and figure out how this two-step process supposedly turns just one key word into this, like, unstoppable content stream.
It feels less about, traditional writing and more about engineering attention, doesn't it?
Engineering attention.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
And the source material, it makes this promise of what they call an unfair advantage, mostly by claiming to sidestep all that generic, recycled AI fluff we see everywhere.
Right. They promise the output will feel alive because it's supposedly built on like deep human psychology, not just chasing trends. Mm-hmm. But the thing that really jumped out at me, initially anyway, was the pricing. I mean, the whole system guides you to use free AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini.
The ones everyone already has access to, yeah.
Right. But access to their engine, the prompts, the whole blueprint, it's a one-time payment. Yeah. $97 for lifetime access.
That part is interesting.
Yeah. They make a big deal out of it. No subscriptions, no hidden fees, no pro version later, just $97 and you get everything, updates included, forever.
Coming from someone like Mark Hess, the creator who's known as a super affiliate and infopreneur, that pricing model itself feels like a psychological tactic.
How so?
Well, it hits that scarcity button, right? Huge value, lifetime deal, super low barrier to entry. It almost makes saying yes easier than debating a monthly fee. It's smart marketing, definitely.
Okay, I see that. But the big question for us, I guess, is does the engine actually do what it claims on the psychological side? Does it deliver that advantage?
That's what we need to unpack. Let's get into those neuroscience claims. What's the core idea behind how this content is supposed to just bypass all our mental filters?
Yeah, what's the mechanism?
So the key thing to grasp is they're apparently not just chasing SEO keywords or what's hot on TikTok this week. They're aiming for what they call neurooptimization.
Neurooptimization, okay.
The system's supposedly built to trigger these psychological engines, essentially bypassing the conscious brain filters we use all day. It's aiming for an immediate gut reaction, using dopamine hits and curiosity gaps.
Okay, hang on. When you say neuroscience, that sounds a bit like standard marketing psychology just dressed up in a lab coat. How is this genuinely different from just, really good copywriting?
That's a fair question. The source material points to 3 specific principles they say are actually engineered into the prompt structure. This is what supposedly makes the content feel instantly relevant to you, the person seeing it, no matter the topic.
Okay, what of it?
The first one they mentioned is mirror neurons.
Mirror neurons. Okay, I've heard of those.
Right. So in content terms, it means crafting it so that when you read it or watch it, the parts of your brain that would do that action or feel that emotion actually light up. It's designed to make you instantly see yourself in the content.
So it's not just talking about a problem, it's describing it so vividly, your brain almost feels like it's experiencing it or solving it right then and there.
Exactly that. It creates this immediate sort of empathetic connection, deep identification, fast.
Okay, got it. What's the second one?
The second is dopamine loops.
Yeah.
This is all about keeping you hooked, keeping your attention. The content structure needs to constantly give you little rewards for scrolling, keep feeding your curiosity, making you want the next little bit.
Like the endless scroll on social media, basically, that addictive quality.
Pretty much, yeah. Creating that same kind of reward loop. And the third principle, which might be the most powerful one they leverage, is egocentric filtering.
Egocentric filtering.
Yeah, our brains are basically gatekeepers, right? Trying to save energy. This filter makes sure that only stuff that feels super personal and really urgent gets through. If the content isn't shouting, this is about you and it matters NW, your brain just tosses it aside.
Okay, that makes intuitive sense. We filter out tons of noise.
Yeah.
But how does an AI prompt actually use something like egocentric filtering?
Yeah.
That feels abstract.
That's the tricky part, the technical bit. Based on what they claim, the prompt isn't just saying, hey, AI, write about investing. It's likely forcing the AI to use really personalized language, very you-focused.
Ah, okay.
It probably uses phrasing that frames the core idea as like an immediate threat to you or a unique chance for you that you need to act on, making it feel personal and urgent.
I think I'm starting to see the architecture here. And if these three things, mirror neurons, dopamine loops, egocentric filtering, are fundamental human processes,
Then the system should work anywhere, right? That's the claim.
yeah, that's what they say. Doesn't matter if it's a huge niche like finance or relationships or something really specific and tiny.
Precisely. Because human attention works the same way, psychologically speaking. If the content hits those triggers, the topic itself becomes almost secondary. It's all about grabbing the attention first. Topic agnostic, attention-centric.
Okay, let's pivot to the practical side then. If engineering attention is the goal, how do you actually, use this engine? Walk us through those two steps they talk about.
Right, the mechanics.
Step one seems to be about taking a fuzzy idea and turning it into psychological fuel. It starts with just one thing, a keyword, maybe a niche, or just a pain point someone has.
And this is where the process starts getting interesting because it's focused on pulling out insight, not just summarizing information.
Okay, so the user takes the step one prompt, which the engine provides, copies it.
Pastes it into a free AI tool. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, doesn't matter which one. The actual AI processing costs nothing extra.
And the output from that prompt is key, right? It's supposed to give you 5 paradigm-shifting insights.
Yeah, that's the language they use. These insights need to be rare, powerful, really relevant, basically designed to hook into those curiosity loops we mentioned. These are the psychological seeds for everything else.
We should pause on that for a second. That's a big difference. It's not asking the AI to just write a blog post from scratch. It's tasking the AI with high-level creative thinking, first finding a genuinely new attention-grabbing angle.
Exactly. It shifts the value from just writing to ideation, finding the hook.
Okay, so you've got your 5 insights.
Yeah.
Now step 2, which they call the magic bit. You pick one of those insights. Let's use their example. Cortisol shrinks your time horizon and your portfolio.
Right. And just listen to that phrase. It's kind of a perfect psychological seed.
Why? What makes it work?
Because it smashes together two things that most people filter as urgent and personal, right? Health and stress, cortisol, and money portfolio. And it connects them in a way you probably didn't expect.
Creates that immediate question. How does stress affect my money?
Exactly. Your brain needs to know the answer. That's the curiosity gap. So you take that insight, that potent phrase.
And drop it back into their system, their engine.
Yep. And that insight becomes the sort of DNA for a whole batch of content.
And the claim is that the stuff that comes out feels more human, sharper, more magnetic.
Because it started from that specific charged idea, not just a generic topic outline. The source says the system is designed to be smooth, fast, and strangely fun, like hitting a button that just unlocks ideas, supposedly gives the user a dopamine hit too.
I could see the appeal, honestly. Thinking about efficiency, it makes my old way of planning content seem painfully slow. But that brings us to the output itself. If step 2 churns out a lot of content from one insight, all aimed at dominating attention, what exactly do you get? What's the list?
So the goal here seems to be saturation, right? And building authority quickly from that one insight, like the cortisol one.
Yeah.
The system promises to generate 11 different content formats, covering pretty much all the major digital bases.
I love it. Okay, what are some examples?
Well, you get the quick hit stuff. A scroll-stopping social media post, a viral TikTok script, short form, obviously, and also a specific YouTube short script. Things for immediate engagement.
Okay, makes sense. What about the platforms where you need a bit more depth to build authority?
They cover that too. You get a full long-form YouTube video script, an authority Medium article, a high-converting blog post, a LinkedIn authority story, and even a high-value email sequence, all spun from that single core insight.
So it's really about milking that one core idea across different formats and platforms.
Maximizing its impact and reach, yeah.
What else is on the list? 11 is a lot.
The last couple are focused on conversion. You get an expert-level lead magnet, like a downloadable PDF guide.
The classic freebie.
Exactly. And crucially, you also get the blind landing page copy needed to actually get people to sign up for that lead magnet. So it builds out a basic funnel, too.
Okay, it's comprehensive.
All right.
Generating 11 pieces from one seed idea. We have to ask, does that volume risk creating the very recycled AI fluff they claim to avoid? How does quality hold up across all those formats.
That's definitely the potential weak spot, I think. The quality seems highly dependent on how good that initial psychological seed from step one actually is.
Meaning?
If the insight is genuinely sharp and unique, like connecting cortisol and finance, then the AI has strong guardrails. It can probably generate varied, interesting takes across the 11 formats. But if the step one insight is kind of weak or generic,
Then you'll just get 11 mediocre pieces of content echoing that weakness.
pretty much. The engine doesn't guarantee brilliant writing necessarily. It guarantees potent starting material, that psychological hook. The quality flows from there.
Okay, so the genius, if there is one, might be less in the AI writing itself and more in finding that initial constraint, that sharp insight that forces the AI output to be specific and, well, feel personal and urgent.
I think that's a good way to look at it. And, the creator, Mark Hess, he's been in this online marketing game a long time. He likely understands that the real bottleneck isn't generating content anymore. It's finding the angle that actually cuts through.
And the $97 lifetime price.
Feels like a strategy to build a massive user base quickly, get people in the door, build his brand authority, maybe collect a huge email list. The low price is the acquisition tool.
So let's try and summarize this for you, the listener. We've explored a content system that's making a big shift away from just covering topics or chasing keywords.
Yeah, it's all about consciously engineering content around specific psychological triggers. Mirror neurons for that instant relatability.
Dopamine loops to keep people scrolling.
And, maybe most importantly, egocentric filtering to make it feel urgent and personal to you.
The argument is that this is built on timeless human psychology, not just passing trends, so it should keep working.
Which brings us maybe to a final thought. Something for you to chew on.
Go on.
If this model is right, if the most successful online content now increasingly relies on perfectly engineering these dopamine hits and exploiting our brain's urgency filters, what does that do long term?
What's the impact on us, the audience?
Yeah. How does it affect our ability to filter and really engage with important information that isn't perfectly packaged like this? Information that might be complex or nuanced or doesn't scream urgent, but actually is critical.
Does it make us less patient with things that don't give us that immediate psychological reward?
It could pose a real cognitive challenge, right? Learning to tell the difference between something that's just engineered to feel relevant and something that genuinely is important. This engine might be a powerful tool, but maybe it highlights a tricky dynamic for all of us consuming content online.
That definitely gives you something to think about next time you're scrolling. It certainly makes me look at headlines a little differently now.
Well,